request our Honorable MP Sheikh Abdullah Gayak, for the invocation. Sheikh Abdullah Gayak, our fellow MP, is recognized for the invocation. Kanyan ba siya? Ayun.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina liyaghfira lakallahu ma taqaddam. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-khaira fi hadhihi al-ijtima' insyaallah. Allahumma aminna fi makanina hadha wa fi kulli makan ya Rabb. Allahumma nawwir qulubana bi nuri hidayatik. Allahumma walli umurana khiyarana wa la tuwalli umurana ashrarana ya Rabbal alamin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Please remain standing for the national.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, dalas ng sinananan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bangaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitindig. Lumalang araw ng walhagin pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagkay mag-amin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Simula noon hanggang ngayon, isa ang naging layon. Magkaisa at magulong, kagitingan ay marugtong. Tumayo tayo mula sa hamon ng nakaraan, niyapos ang panganib na umalang. Sinangako sa puso at paniniwala, ang ginhawa para sa kabataan. Bangsamoro ay tagumpay, bunga ng pawis
Present.
Present.
Present. Wala ka maratag na tulad na ako.
Dahil tulad din naman tatago.
Review ako.
Ito man so, nakul mo, mag-take out ka no, natulog ka no, makakuha. Natigra na sir, tumayo ka sir. Kasi makakuha na mabunota ka no. Naging tuladan ka kinoyran.
Siya. Nakikirit. Ano na nito?
Diba, nakakapipita, nagito sulod ka na magabi, nangakya formal. Nakakya tang-tanga ngayon makakuha, katulong ang tawag nga lata.
Present.
To this session, and the certification says that there is a quorum, a total of 54. The chair declared the presence of a quorum. The majority floor leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A'udhu billahi minash-shaytanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I move, Mr. Speaker, preliminarily to amend the OB, the order of business for today's session to include in the reading and approval of journal, yesterday's journal, as well as the inclusion of committee report number 1 to be reported out by our fellow. So, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to amend the order of business and the agenda for today. It is duly seconded, there being no objection or comments or suggestion, this is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to dispense with the reading and proceed with the approval of Journal number 10 for the session on November 20, 2020. So, yes, Mr. Speaker. What was supposed to be approved yesterday. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve the journal of the previous session. Duly seconded, there being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We proceed with the reference of business. May we request the Secretary General to read the title and the authors of the first proposed resolution for our consideration.
The Secretariat is directed to read the resolution and the resolution number together with its authors. Secretariat.
Proposed resolution number 82 entitled Resolution requesting the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government, MILG, to urge all the cities and municipalities within the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Bar to design and operate sanitary landfill as mandated by Republic Act 9003 of 2001, otherwise known as the Ecological Zone. Author, Member of the Parliament by name Mantawi. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Marian Arnado, Tawakal Mitimban, Basir Uttu, Mujib Abu, Muhammad Kelly Antaw, Suwaib Ranon, and Amrosi Makatani.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Local Government.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 52 to the local government. Duly seconded, there being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we request the Secretariat to read the title and authors of the next proposed resolution for our consideration.
Secretariat is directed to read the proposed resolution number 83 together with its authors.
Proposed resolution number 83 entitled Resolution requesting the government of the day for the immediate activation of the Sharia Public Assistance Office, SPAO, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao Bar. Author, Member of the Parliament, Bailing Mantawin.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Justice.
Proposed resolution number 3 is moved to the Committee on Justice. Sister Rini Sikan. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
1 minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
How many to spend?
We request the Secretariat to read the title and the authors of the third proposed resolution for our consideration.
Secretariat is correct. The proposed resolution number 2
The proposed resolution number 7 entitled rapid master world title in the Eastern Asia Youth Chess Championship 2022 in Bangkok, Thailand. Authors, members of the Parliament, Odaiba Patel,
Buti Florida.
Who collected silver medals on boys
under 12 standard event, boys under 12 rapid individual, and boys So, in view of the name of the awardee is Al-Bashir, a 12-year-old chess prodigy who has been competing in several chess tournaments and has been recognized for his excellence in the realm of chess battle. This young man is a very has a very huge potential and is a source of pride to the Bangsamoro, and we are very happy to convey to him the commendation of the Parliament. So we sincerely urge all fellow members of this Parliament to join us in this particular commendation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'm looking at the room and
Move to open the period. Yes, move to open the period of interpellation.
move to open, Mr. Speaker, the period of interpellation.
There is a motion to open the period of interpellation. Duly seconded, the same is about to.
May we request, Mr. Speaker, the recognition of MP Baintan as the first interpellator.
MP Baintan ng Patuan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Lord Leader. Mr. Speaker, this is not in any way opposing the resolution. In fact, I fully support the resolution. But I just want to put a continuity of the previous commendations that we did in the BTA 1. Since this is not the first time that this young man acquired an international title. In fact, this is the second time. I just want to connect this resolution to the previous resolution because much as we want to really appreciate, but I want to put some meaning on this commendation. In fact, if this resolution is just a document as we pointed out in other commendations that we have, maybe we can give some meaning to this commendation for the second time because this is not the first time that we're acknowledging the title that this young man have given to the Bangsamoro government. So I just want to put in record that if there's a way that we can further improve the wording to connect the first resolution with this one and give meaning to the full accomplishment of the young man, that would be better, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
That's just my manifestation, Mr. Speaker.
So, the proponent, any statement or for the is it a clarification or manifestation of the MPs from Maguindanao, MP Baintan?
I believe it was a manifestation, Mr.
It's a
Speaker.
manifestation. So, that is well noted. Napansin ko rin we have a resolution in the BT1 regarding this. Hindi yata sa mathematics, cheese yata yun. Parang
Chess din naman.
Mr. Speaker, we
Yes.
fully agree with the view of Honorable Bayintan. And in fact, in our earlier deliberation with the Philippine Sports Commission, we were actually trying to introduce a mechanism where the Sports Commission will be able to provide more support to our young athletes so that we will be able, so that the Parliament will not just be limited to issuing commendation, which is really just paper, but to really put in more incentives, support, and even maybe rewards for our well-deserved athletes. So that is, we fully agree with that manifestation, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, youngster like this one, Yumangi Puto, deserves accolade, commendation, and possibly a reward incentive from the Bangsamoro government in order that we can motivate other youngsters to do and improve their skills. Yes. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, the next to conduct this interpellation is MP Lorena, Deputy Floor Leader.
If OC Iribani Lorena is recognized, our Deputy Floor Leader.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I fully agree with this resolution, but I will go beyond that because the nurturing of a prodigy, sustainability, and the help from everyone. We seldom find prodigal chess players in our homeland, particularly in this region. But a chess player myself, I have gone through chess tournaments. If efforts are not sustained, we will end up mediocre because to be an excellent chess player, you have to compete with other best players in the world. On this note, I really don't know if the author has contemplated providing a program within the Bangsamoro Youth Commission that will assist and sustain the effort of chess players to participate not only in national but in international tournament. May I be? I know there was a resolution prior, but outside from granting rewards, perhaps there should be a program that should be incorporated in our not only the Bangsamoro Youth Council, but even in our Sports Commission to undertake program to sustain the development of our producers. So may I just be clarified if it is also the intent of the authors to incorporate a program for either in the Youth Commission or in the Sports Commission to sustain chess players.
The author or the proponent is required to reply to the query of the good gentleman from Sulu.
Yes, yes, Mr. Speaker. In our last assistance to this particular athlete by way of transportation support whenever he goes for a tournament, and so the communication between the father of the athlete and the sports commission is open, and they are working together, and they are also trying to provide a suitable, competent coach that can really further hone his skills as a chess player.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But going beyond that, I know even our very own Wesley So had to left the country because what has been provided was just transportation, but there are no sustainable programs that include coaching from generally good players. In fact, even when he was here, you cannot find any support from the Philippine Chess Commission and from the Commission. Perhaps for our part, we can do that. So I recommend that we incorporate in the budget for sports development a program that would cater to chess players. I hope that could be incorporated. That should have been incorporated in our budget already. But if it is not that, we should direct our sport commission to allocate some amount for their participation and even for coaching during tournament. That would just be all, Mr. Speaker. I really support this and I want to be associated with this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other member of the Parliament intending to ask their questions, I move to close and terminate the period of interpellations.
There is a motion to close the period of interpellation. Hearing no second motion.
Second.
This test duly seconded. There being no objection, this same is hereby approved.
Move to open, Mr. Speaker, the period of amendments.
Period of amendment is open. Duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
MP Ali Babaw wishes to introduce his proposed amendments.
Yes,
Thank you.
MP voice recognized.
Madam Floor Leader and the Speaker, this is only a very short amendment that I would like to propose. But before that, I join with everybody by commending Al-Bashir Basti Dumanggit Buto for winning this very competition in Thailand. Because this is another source of pride for the Bangsamoro. Now, my amendment is I would like to propose that instead of using the word collecting in the title, I would like to propose that winning will substitute the word collecting. Because collecting, maybe you can even collect trophies in the Recto, Manila. Collecting is different from winning. Because participating in an international competition, it's our pride that one of our participants coming from the Bangsamoro won 2 medals. So, Mr. Chairman, I move that to replace the word collecting into winning or garnering. Any of the two words.
Yes, with all due respect, I think the proper term is garnering because they won medals. So you garnered medals.
We accept, Mr.
You're in the
Speaker.
title, yes.
We agree.
Garner. It may be garnering. So what's the pleasure of the proponent?
Thank you for the amendment. We accept, Mr. Speaker.
The amendment is duly accepted. Any amendments?
No,
MP?
that's all, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MP Al-Babaw.
Mr. Speaker, MP Deputy Floor Leader Lorena wishes to introduce his amendments.
MP Usi Lorena, Deputy Floor Leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Floor Leader. Just one word. I would like to change the word in the title obtaining because in chess, you achieve. So the word should be achieving candidate master's category. I would like to propose an amendment to the title from obtaining to achieving. Candidate masters.
Any comment? From obtaining to achieving.
Mr. Speaker, since the proponent is also a chess player, we will accept, Mr.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
That is the consideration. They accept only because you are a chess player.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
it is duly accepted.
Mr. Speaker, the next to introduce his proposed amendments is Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan.
Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan is duly recognized.
Yung sa akin lang para hindi tayo maano sa mga neighbors natin, ang Hong Kong kailangan Special Autonomous Region. Hong Kong Special Autonomous Region, China.
So, we
We
settled
settled the special autonomous region for Hong Kong.
Yes, Mr.
But the
Speaker.
others, any more?
MP Baintan wishes to introduce her proposed amendments, Mr.
MP
Speaker.
Baintan ng Patuan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the premise that I laid down earlier, Mr. Speaker, that this is the second resolution of the BTA, I propose that the title should include the word resolution extending another commendation. Another commendation to copy-paste mo na yan, yung pangalan niya.
Kasi ito may candidate masters or yun yung importante. Candidate master na
Actually, pwede na yan. Another convention. Ang mapalitan yung title, pati yung dispositive portion, mapalitan din.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Speaker, parang well, I just want to connect the verse na parang hindi lang ito yung una. But if you can find an alternative, because actually kanina ko pa siya iniisip, nanalo na siya at ni-recognize na natin. So this one is another commendation. So if you can find an alternative, I'm willing to forgo with my proposed amendment.
And, 1 minute suspension. Session resume.
Mr. Speaker, I believe our move on for an amendment and the principal author has come to a compromise.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm willing that my proposed amendment will form part of the body, Mr. Speaker. I just want that there is a continuity, the connect of the first BTA's commendation with this commendation, and therefore I can agree that it could be part of it should be part of the body. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So,
Mr. Speaker, the next to introduce his proposed amendments is MP Omar, Deputy Speaker MP Omar Sema.
Deputy Speaker Omar Yasser Sima is recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two proposed amendments, one in the title and one in the body. First, in the resolution, the title, I believe that what is important is his achievement of candidate master world
Mr.
title.
Speaker, man, can we just tackle first the body and then the title?
Oh, yes, the body first.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I acknowledge that. Okay, we go to the first whereas clause. Instead of special autonomous region, it's a special administrative region. It's Hong Kong SAR actually. And by practice, can we just shorten it to SAR? Because that's practice internationally. SAR. Tapos, yeah, Hong Kong SAR. Just remove fully spelling the meaning of SAR. Yeah. And 2 words ho yung Hong Kong. Both capitalized yung sa first letter. In the title, Mr. Chair, I am proposing that the other words that were used to be deleted, and it goes like this: resolution commending Al-Bashir Basti Humangit Buto for achieving candidate master world title in the 6th Eastern Asia Youth Chess Championship 2022 in Bangkok, Thailand. So, ayan. Because what is important is his achievement of the title, the world title, candidate master world title. That is my proposed amendment, Mr. Chair. Also, to further explain the title, because in the first resolution, we already acknowledged that he won gold in that. And this one, silver lang ho yung napanalunan niya dito. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I hope the proponent accepts my amendment.
What is the pleasure of the proponent?
Subject to style, Mr. Speaker, we accept all the proposed amendment.
Subject to style, the proposal from the one who proposed is subject to style. Yes. It's accepted subject to style. MP
MP Jaquilan is
Jaquilan is
recognized for his proposed amendments, Mr. Speaker.
MP Jaquilan is recognized.
I think Mr. Basir did not go to Thailand alone. He went with a delegation. And considering the Philippine delegation won the overall championship, I think it is but appropriate also to congratulate the team where he belongs. So the point there is commending and congratulating. I do not know kung saan nyo ilagay, pero the point, I want to also recognize the team to where he belongs. Kasi ano man ang mangyayari, he is part of the team. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, in the first whereas clause, we already acknowledged the Philippine delegation team winning the overall standing in the just concluded 2022 Eastern Asia Youth Chess Championships. So I think there is enough attribution also that Mr. Bashir belongs to the Philippine delegation, but the title does not belong to the delegation, but to the winning athlete himself, Mr. Al-Bashir, who is a Maranao from Cainta, Rizal.
Yes, the Philippine Al-Bashir is a member of the Philippine delegation. So it was already mentioned in the body of the resolution.
Mr.
So I
Speaker,
think this will do.
Mr. Speaker, there being no other MPs wishing to introduce their amendments, I move to terminate the period of amendments.
Move to kill the period of amendments is hereby approved.
Move to approve, Mr. Speaker, the proposed resolution number 87.
There is a motion to approve proposed resolution number 87 as amended. It is duly seconded. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, we proceed with the next proposed resolution for our consideration. May we request the Secretary to read its title and the authors thereof.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of proposed resolution number 88 together with its authors. Secretariat.
Proposed resolution number 88 entitled Resolution commending Yasser Abdulaziz Nekor Binsuan for garnering 10th place with a remarkable rating of 89.20% amongst the 117,938 examinees of the 2022 Career Service Professional Examination. Authors, members of the Parliament, Obaida Pakasam, Raija Jajuri, Ana Tarhata Basman, Marjani Makasalong, Aida Silungan, Marian Arnado, Matarol Estino, Soharto Ismael, and Shah Ilaiha Dumama Alba.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize one of the principal authors, MP Soharto Ismael, for the deliberations of this resolution.
MP Soharto Ismael is duly recognized.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Mr. Speaker, we all know here in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, Mr. Chair, that one of the clamor of many takers of the civil service examination here are the low rate of pastors in the Bangsamoro and what they called slots. So, Mr. Chair, in this resolution, Mr. Chair, we want to commend Mr. Yasser Abdulaziz Nekor Binsuan, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, for garnering 10th place with remarkable rating of 89.20, Mr. Chair, which we think is really remarkable, especially in our in the Bangsamoro, Mr. Chair. Considering the number of takers, Mr. Speaker, that we have 117,938 examinees. Mr. Chair, Mr. Binsuan is a proud Bangsamoro residing here in the Cotabato City, and he's a graduate of Business and Accountancy CBA in the Notre Dame University, Mr. Speaker. And we are asking here, Mr. Chair, in this resolution, Mr. Chair, to give commendation to this young man for us, for us to more motivate our Bangsamoro young youth to excel in their chosen profession, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I am looking around the room again, seeing no MPs raising their hands for interpellation or amendments. I declare an omnibus motion for the dispensing with interpellation and amendments and proceeding with the approval of this resolution. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion as stated, duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Chairman, I thank everyone Mr. Speaker, I thank everyone for this omnibus approval of this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, may we request the Secretariat to read the title and the authors of our next proposed resolution for consideration?
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of the proposed resolution number 89 together with its authors.
Proposed resolution number 89 entitled Resolution Strongly Appealing to the Department of Foreign Affairs, DFA, to reopen its consular office in Cotabato City to cater to the residents of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BAR. Author, Member of the Parliament, Bahintan A. Ampatuan. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Muwalil, Laisa Alamia, Soharto Ambuluddo, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasol Mitmug Jr., Rasol Ismail, Khalid Haji Abdullah, Jafar Apollo Mikael Matalam, and Basir Uttu.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Rules.
Simple ito. Simple na lang to. Kasi kung ano yun, appealing lang sa foreign affairs eh. Wala namang discussion dyan eh. Actually, immediate yan. Immediate yan. Kasi wala tayong consular office. Sa Cotabato, naalis kasi. PIGR ba yan? 1 minute suspension.
1 minute suspension. Speaker, we move to consider this as a simple resolution. May we request, therefore, its principal author, MP Baintan Ampatuan, for the deliberations of this resolution.
MP Benton Ampatuan is duly recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. Actually, this proposed resolution came from a number of call concerning the reopening, because we already have this in the past. However, for some reasons, these services of the DFA in Cotabato City, serving the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, was transferred to another area. It's actually in Kidapawan City. And if you try to look at the coverage, it doesn't serve the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, because basically the core of the areas of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region is in Cotabato City, nearby Maguindanao and Lanao del Sur areas. So it's very difficult on the part of our constituencies, especially in the city, in the nearby Maguindanao and Lanao del Sur areas, to go to another city in order to obtain their passports. It will involve another cost for them. We know that, for example, passport services is very important to every constituent of Bangsamoro. Makita ninyo yung pila sa Davao, pagkahaba-haba dahil maraming siniserve yung Davao City. Kailangan pang sumakay ng van at maggastos ng pamasahe, pantulog nila doon, pagkain, and we want to help especially those poor communities na gustong magka-passport at maka-obtain ng trabaho locally or internationally. So this resolution is an appeal to the Department of Foreign Affairs na baka naman, if there's a way for them to reopen their office here, kasi meron naman ito dati, then maybe tayo yung maging tulay, no? Nalaman ko ito because I talked to one of the undersecretaries of the DFA, and sabi niya, pupunta daw sila ng Kidapawan because mag-o-open ng kanilang opisina. Sabi ko, what happened to us? Yung opisina, sabi niya, pwede na yun mag-cater sa BARM. So sabi ko, unfortunately, sir, yung pong Kidapawan ay napakalayo po sa Cotabato City at ibang region po yun. Yung para sa BARM ay dapat meron talaga para sa Bangsamoro. So ito po yung context ng resolution na ito. And I'm open for your suggestions. If you have other information that we can further improve this resolution, I'm open to that. I must accept that I have not limited limited information with regards to this, kasi hindi naman tayo attached talaga sa kanila, but ito ay problema na nakita na natin, and I've heard this several times over the radio na even yung LGU Cotabato City would want that itong services na ito ay mabalik. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we'll move to open the floor for the period of interpellations.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Floor Leader, before you open, I would like to make a manifestation.
The gentleman, the Deputy Speaker, Secretary, wishes to be
Deputy
recognized.
Speaker Romar Sima is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I have personal knowledge on the issue of consular services in Cotabato City before. It was during my father's time that that consular services office was opened here in Cotabato City, and it was then at the People's Palace in Cotabato City. it was one of our it was one revenue generating office here in Cotabato City at that time, because a lot of people have been coming to the People's Palace to obtain passports, to apply for not only for passporting for going to abroad, but for purposes of having valid identification. Because alam nyo, dito sa atin, maraming problema pagdating sa identification during those times. So, I would like to manifest that I fully support this resolution, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. There is a standing motion to open the period of
Yes, Mr.
interpellation. Is there any second? Is duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Floor Leader, MP Lorena, wishes to be recognized as the first interpellator.
MP Deputy Floor Leader Jose Iribane Lorena is recognized.
Walang volume. Walang volume. Ay, walang sound.
Yeah, I'm asking some clarificatory question to lay a premise for my proposed amendment. Madam Speaker,
Madam
are you considering the reopening of the consular service office, principally because Cotabato is the regional center of the BARM?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Are you also seeking reopening because you recognize that one of the powers of the ball is to do Hajj service?
What service?
Hajj services.
Hajj services. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Separate from the National Commission of Muslim Philippines.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to input that some of our Hajj pilgrims and Umrah goes as far as Butuan City. And I also know that the relocation of the service center to Kidapawan is because the regional center of Region 12 was moved from Cotabato City to another city. Are you also considering that and considering the difficulty of our people going to these two places, you are proposing this resolution?
Precisely, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I really like to be associated with this resolution, and I reserve my right to propose amendment at the period of amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close, Mr. Speaker, the period of interpellations and open the period of amendments.
There is a motion to close the period of interpellation. Duly seconded, the same is hereby approved. The period of amendment. There is a motion to open the period of amendment, and there is a motion to open the period of duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, MP Nabil Tan, wishes to be recognized to introduce his proposed amendment.
Towards MP Bong Pacasio. After Nabil Tan is Bong. After you, Deputy Speaker.
Deputy Speaker Tan first and then MP.
Seniority first.
Sama. Thank you, the Majority Leader and Speaker. May we go to the final whereas? Pwede ba natin baguhin yung can I propose an amendment to consular office in Cotabato to consular services office? Isingit natin yung word services.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, on the premise that what we are providing are the services that includes passporting, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Madam. That's precisely the essence of their functions. Issue passports, and then we go to the all others. Please include that amendment services, and then we can go to the title.
Ganon din, to be consistent.
To be consistent, to reopen its consular services office. Services.
Services in Cotabato City.
Office in Cotabato City. Yun lang po.
Proposed amendment is accepted, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you very much, Madam.
MP Parkas wishes to be recognized to introduce his proposed amendments, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, MP Parkas is recognized.
Well, that word services has been provided, but if you look at the meaning of cater, it refers to the supply and cater of food. No? So while we already have services, it will not be bad to change the word cater to serve. If
Is
the
that a
proponent-
proposed amendment?
That's my proposed simple amendment.
Proposed amendment accepted, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment was accepted. Amendments of MP Deputy Speaker Nabil Tan and MP Randolph Pacasio are both accepted.
Mr. Speaker, MP Lorena wishes to introduce his proposed amendments.
MP Deputy Floor Leader Jose Lorena is recognized.
Thank you, Floor Lady. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have already commanded to ask that we remove the word "to" there for grammatical purpose. But my proposed amendment would just to incorporate two whereases. The one is that the whereas Cotabato City is currently the regional center of the BARM. That's one. Second, whereas
Hold lang. Kailangan isa-isayin natin.
yes. So
Which part ng whereas? Saan natin isingit?
well, it can be included in the last.
Last whereas?
Yeah, after the last whereas there, we can
After
include
the last whereas?
we can include two other whereases. That's the first one. The other one is we should already tell the word that the BARM has a power, the Bangsamoro government has a power to do a separate HUDs program, separate for NCMF. So we just put there, I am not so sure yet, I have not looked into the section, whereas particular article and section of the ball provides that the BARM is authorized to have its own HUD services. So that is just subject to style. I will check on the article and
Sige, next whereas. Whereas the BOL
provides that the BARM can have its own separate services, HUDs and services, out agreement services outside from the National Commission of Muslim Filipinos. Just to tell the world that we can have our own HUDs program, and that it is necessary because there will be more from the BARM will be coming.
We'll deal first on the first, Mr. Speaker. Cotabato City is currently the regional government, the government center. I will accept, Mr. Speaker, provided that instead of regional office, we will change it to the government center.
Temporary seat.
Temporary government center.
Okay, temporary government center. And at the same time, subject to style, because I will seek into the article section, you just include that the ball authorizes the BARM government to have a separate pilgrimage program, separate from the National Commission.
I accept both subject to style, especially on the second whereas.
Thank you.
Citing the provision on of the BOL with regards to the mandate about pilgrimage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Proponent. Thank you. And I want to be included as associated with this resolution. Thank you. MP Omar Yasser Sima is recognized.
Manifest na kayo.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I would like to clarify from the proponent of the amendment. Would that not make it difficult for us to reopen if we state that Cotabato City is merely a temporary government center?
Low. Microphone.
The volume,
Hindi na-
volume.
Yung record, hindi naka-record. Yes, thank you. We cannot provide that it is a permanent because the BTA has not yet decided in a law defining where the seat is. So we can have to combine because we are a de facto existence of a center is here. But unless that law is provided, we cannot say that it is the center. I know there is a bill that will be what has been filed, but it has not been approved by the BTA. Thank you. Currently houses the government center of the BARM.
Current Chair, I really have reservation on using the word temporary.
So we
May I suggest that if the proponent of the amendment agrees, can we not just state that Cotabato City is presently the government center?
No, we can just say it's still currently hosts.
Presently holds the Bangsamoro government center.
Hosts.
Hosts the
We accept.
And not use the word temporary because it would be
Okay.
difficult obtaining
I
reopening.
accept because the word is temporary transition because we have not passed yet.
I think the final acceptance will be from the author.
But from my amendment because
So,
it's asking from me.
Yes,
Amendment to my amendment.
Secretariat, please remove the word the Cotabato City. Cotabato City presently hosts the government center of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao.
Yes, I am approving it based on the amendments that I am proposing.
Please remove the word temporary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Speaker, MP Nabiltan for his
MP
additional proposed amendment.
Deputy Speaker Nabil Tan is recognized.
I be associated.
Gladly willing to accept all those who want to be part of this resolution.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the closure of the period of amendments.
Before the closure, how about the presiding? Is it
Mr. Speaker, before you
All of the members present are welcome to be co-author of this resolution.
I move, Mr. Speaker, that all those present become co-authors of the resolution under consideration.
No problem.
the others?
Yes, accepted, Mr. Speaker.
Secretary, please take note.
Mr. Speaker, the pending motion of the Deputy Speaker, but additionally to that, move to close the period of amendments and approve the proposed resolution.
There is a motion to close the period of amendment and furthermore to approve this proposition. These two motions duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We proceed with the next proposed resolution for consideration. May you request the Secretary General to read its title and the authors thereof.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of proposed resolution number 91 together with its authors. Secretariat, please.
Proposed resolution number 91 entitled Resolution Directing the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources and Energy, MENRE, to intensify its reforestation programs, especially in the landslide-prone areas. Author, Member of the Parliament, Bahintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Mawalil, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Liza Alamia, Suharto Ambuludto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Ismail, Khalid Haji Abdullah, Japar Apollo Mikael, Matalam, and Basir Utto.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Energy.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 91 to the Committee on Environment and Energy, National Resources and Energy. The same is duly seconded. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, we move to the next matter in our order of business as amended. Committee report number 1 of the Committee on Rules. May we request the recognition of MP Eddie Ali, a member of the Committee on Rules, as well as the principal author of said resolution.
MP ideally is recognized for the committee report. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Amma ba'd. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues of this august body, friends of the Bangsamoro Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Rules, to which was referred BTA Proposed Resolution number 45, entitled Resolution Amending Adopted Resolution number 97, Resolution Recognizing the top-ranked Bangsamoro Quran reciters who represented the country in various international Quran reciting competitions for around half a century since 1969. Has considered the same and has the honor to report it back to the Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament with members of the Parliament Eddie Mapag-Ali, Muhager M. Iqbal, Pangalian M. Balindong, Abdurrauf A. Makakua, Edward U. Guerra, Obaida C. Pakasem, Ali B. Sulaiman, Shia Elijah, Dumama Alba, Ana Tarhata Basman, Raisa Jajuri, Lanang Ali Jr., Faisal Intago, Nabil Tan, Jose Lorena, Muhammad Yaqub, Harun Abbas, Ibrahim Ali, Abdullah Hasim, Abdullah Gayak, Aida Silongan, Susana Anayatin, Maliha Kandao, Ali Salik, Said Shaikh, Said Salindab, Ahmad Abbas, Mujib Abu, Basit Abbas, Suaib Uranon, Abdul Wahab Pak, Marjani Makasalong, Husin Muñoz, Laisa Alamia, Musber Alauddin, Baintan Ampatuan, Mary Ann Alnado, Suhalto Ismael, Matarol Istino, Faisal Caron, John Anthony Lim, Amrusi Makatanong, Baileng Mantawil, Tawakal Mitimbang, Rasul Mitmog Jr., Randolph Valcasio, Ramon Piang, Romeo Sema, Kadil Sinulinding Jr., Ajpal Usman, Bashir Utu, Hatimil Hasan, Benjamin Loong, Abdul Karim Miswari, and Omar Yasser C. Sema, and with the recommendation that it be approved with the following amendments. 1. On page 1, the title shall include the words "and memorizers," such that the same shall now read, Resolution Amending Adopted Resolution number 97, Resolution Recognizing the Top-Ranked Bangsamoro Quran Reciters and Memorizers who represented the country in various international Quran reciting competitions
for around half a century since 1969. On page 1, in the second whereas clause, change the words "an evaluation committee was created for the purpose" to "the office of the chief minister recommended for the creation of a technical working group." It shall thus read, whereas to expedite the implementation of AR number 97, the office of the chief minister recommended for the creation of a technical working group. 3. On page 2, delete the first and second whereas clauses and insert the following clause. Whereas the technical working group organized evaluating committee to review the list of awardees mentioned in AR number 97. 4. On page 2, the third whereas clause is rewarded as follows. Whereas upon thorough review by the validation committee, awardees are listed hereunder. 5. On page 3, delete the first and second whereas clauses. 6. On page 4, delete the first and second whereas clauses. 7. On page 4, in the first resolving clause, insert the words "and memorizers." Thus, now therefore be it resolved as it is hereby resolved by the Bangsamoro Parliament to amend adopted resolution number 97, resolution recognizing the top-ranked Bangsamoro Quran reciters and memorizers who represented the country in various international Quran reciting competitions for around half a century since 1969. 8. On page 4, add a second resolving clause. Resolved further, in recognition of the feats, to request the office of the chief minister through the Bangsamoro Commission for the Preservation of Cultural Heritage to award respective plaques of recognition and or other tokens of appreciation as may deem fit to the above listed winners. 9. List of all members of the Committee on Rules, including ex officio members, as principal authors. Respectfully submitted by the chairperson, Attorney Shia Elijah Dumama Alba, Vice Chairperson, Attorney Raisa Jajuri, and members of the Committee on Rules.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt the committee report of the Committee on Rules as read by our colleague.
There is a motion to adopt the Committee on Rules. Duly seconded, the same is hereby approved.
1 minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute suspension.
Defer consideration of committee report number 1 on proposed resolution number 45. Defer its consideration to a later time.
There is a motion to defer consideration of Committee Report number 1. Duly seconded. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved. Secretary.
to read Parliamentary Bill number 127.
BTA Parliament.
The 2020 and 2021 Special Development Fund, principally authored and introduced by the government of the day. Mr. Speaker, no less than the Bangsamoro Organic Law mandates the Bangsamoro government to intensify the development efforts for the rehabilitation, reconstruction. Instead of this very or heavy mandate, the Bangsamoro government carries the imperative to see these development efforts through to fruition. The law likewise directs the national government provide a special development fund for this very purpose. In keeping with this directive, the Bangsamoro government has been allocated 5 billion peso special development fund in the General Appropriation Act for years 2020, 2021, and 2022. The same will be provided for 7 more years, totaling to 50 billion pesos. Charged to the said fund were over 200 programs, activities, and projects in 2020 and 2021, all of which are aimed at rebuilding, rehabilitating, and developing conflict-affected communities in the region. The implementation, Mr. Speaker, of said programs were, however, delayed for a number of reasons. Among these reasons are the bureaucratic processes indispensable to the release of the fund from the national government to the Bangsamoro government and from the latter to the ministries and offices, which will implement the said programs and projects. For the 2020 SDF, the approval of the proposed PPAs was done in the early months of 2021. The fund was first released to implementing ministries after submission of necessary documents in the months leading to the second half of 2021. The 2021 Special Development Fund underwent the same rigid processes and was first released to the implementing ministries and offices in the second quarter of 2022. Moreover, the constitution and operationalization of the Special Development Program Management, which was tasked to spearhead the preparation, consolidation, and packaging and approval of programs, activities, and projects, and to oversee and monitor the implementation of SDF, was completed in 2021. Also in play were the limitations in human resources and capacity during the early phases of the transition period. In its formative years, the Bangsamoro government dealt with pressures from the national government to establish the bureaucracy, streamline systems, and improve government service using what remained of its predecessors' resources as its springboard, all while striving to achieve its goals and enduring peace and sustain socio-economic development. This proved to be more difficult upon the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Like most government efforts and endeavors, the implementation of SDF programs, activities, and projects were greatly hampered by the pandemic due to the frequent lockdowns, the imposition of movement restrictions, and the shifting of government priorities to the mitigation of the adverse effects of the pandemic. Mr. Speaker, while there are no acceptable excuses for delays in the delivery of service to the public, there is also no perfect government which could have avoided these delays, given the circumstances. All of the foregoing factors considered, the Bangsamoro had to hurdle a mountain of challenges in the last 3 years. But the years that have gone by and the tribulations that came with it are no moment. For if we are to move forward, we have to look forward. Of paramount essence here is the end which is sought to be achieved. That is the rebuilding, rehabilitation, in the development of conflict-affected communities addressing the needs of combatants and those of the internally displaced persons, widows, orphans, and poverty-stricken communities. With the espousal in the organic law of the Special Development Fund, for this purpose, the people of the Bangsamoro who have suffered from decades of conflict are promised with meaningful and sustainable transformation, a promise that the Bangsamoro government ought to make good on. As we are constantly reminded, the Bangsamoro government, especially this august body, wields the greatest power to drive the region towards socio-economic development and self-sufficiency, and it shall do so with higher regard and consideration of its goals than the bureaucratic aspects of governance. To ensure that this mandate to build, rehabilitate, and develop conflict-affected areas is fulfilled along with other decreed responsibilities to the Bangsamoro is the very crux of moral governance. Along these lines, this humble representation seeks your support to approve the extension of the 2020 and 2021 Special Development Fund. With this extension, Mr. Speaker, the Bangsamoro government will be given leverage to sustain its developmental gains and continue delivering quality services to the Bangsamoro. There may have been delays brought about by trials of the past years, but amidst all this, the Bangsamoro government must, as one institution, show and prove that it is all the more emboldened to work towards the attainment of its aspirations for the Bangsamoro. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalam, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this be referred to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management.
There is a motion to refer BTA Parliament Bill number 127 to the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management. Duly seconded. There being no objection, the same is hereby approved.
1 minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute suspension.
May we request the Secretary to read the title and the authors of the next bill under second reading.
The Secretariat is directed to read the bill number and the title of the proposed Parliament bill.
BTA Parliament Bill number 128 entitled An Act Extending the General Appropriations Act of the Bangsamoro until December 31, 2023, except personal services, amending for the purpose Section 48 of the General Provisions of the 2022 General Appropriations Act of the Bangsamoro. Author, the government of the day.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize MP Edward Guerra to deliver the authorship speech on behalf of the government of the day.
MP Minister Edward Guerra is duly recognized to deliver the sponsorship speech.
Thank you, Speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. My courtesy and respect to the Chief Minister Ahod B. Ibrahim, the Speaker Attorney Pangalian Balindong, and to all esteemed members of the Bangsamoro Parliament who are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, we would like to thank the BTA Parliament for passing the GAB for fiscal year 2023 last night. Let me take this opportunity to commend the effort and hard work of Ministry of Finance and Budget and Management, led by MP Attorney Obeda Pakasum, and express my deepest gratitude to the all members of the Committee of Finance and Budget Management and the members of the Parliament who had painstakingly participated in the longest budget deliberation by far. It spanned 27 working days, gabi man o bakasyon. Let us also not forget those who work silently in the background. We support staff of the members of the Parliament and of course, the committee secretariat. Mukhang walang hospital this year. Alhamdulillah. Now to the business at hand. Last year, we requested President Duterte to allow the incumbent members to continue carrying out its mandate through BTA Resolution number 173. Dated October 12, 2021. We said that in order to preserve and sustain the gains achieved under the various programs, projects, and measures, the BTA should be extended. We asked them humbly for an extension in the transition period, sharing the collective desire of the Bangsamoro in making sure that if we have a strong regional bureaucracy. Alhamdulillah, the extension was eventually granted by the Congress and the Senate. This is for this reason we need to acknowledge that the 22 budget extension. It is necessary in achieving the outcomes we seek to preserve and sustain. We must admit that we need ample time to finish the job of establishing a system that depicts the realities of the Bangsamoro and a system responsive to the changing time. On my part, as a member of this august body and the chair of Committee on Finance and Budget Management, I regret not having considered the implications of the election year. A year with many challenges of a nation still under a state of emergency. Then there were uncertainties brought about the appointment of the members of the parliament, which also affected ministers and the authorities they had over their offices. Ministers and other head offices were prohibited from signing new contracts and approving new appointments. These limitations were prolonged by the plebiscite in Maguindanao. Ang daming nawalang mga araw, approximately mga 5 buwan yata. The national government, on the other hand, took early action. The national GAA for 22 was enacted with a 2-year validity, ending December 31st, 2023. We continuously strive to do better every year. Any shortcomings should serve as lesson for improvement. Last year, we should have enacted our 2022 GAAB with a 2-year validity. But this bill will remedy that. A year should be ample time for the ministries, agencies, and offices, including the BTA, to finish projects, programs, and activities while ensuring that sound fiscal policies are kept. Our fiscal policies increase economic activity and help to substantially reduce poverty in the regions by 2 digits, first in the country. According to NEDA, we in the BARM have the second highest economic growth in the country, despite the global pandemic. We are second to Calabarzon region. I have a dream, and we have a dream, and I know we share the same dreams and imagination. That is for the betterment of our Bangsamoro people, which they deserve and who suffered for a long time and sacrifice. Mga pangarap at panaginip ng pagkatapos ng negosasyon at sa pagdating ng BARM ay lumilinaw na at naging colored pa ngayon. Together, we shall make those colored dreams come true. We are asking for more time. It is us, the members of this august body, who holds the power to give time and have the 2022 appropriation validity extended. With the foregoing, I respectfully urge the passes into law BTA Bill number 128, extending the validity of the 2022 appropriations. We cannot fail our people in delivering their expectations. Patuloy natin ipadama na ang ramdam namin ang BARM. Sukran, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ramdam na namin ang BARM.
Ramdam na namin ang BARM.
Pagkatama kami ng BARM.
Ramdam namin ang BARM.
Kagdama kami sa BARM.
Pakisali kami, ya tulong kabang min BARM. Katak-kapito ni lahat kami. Magsuko kami tuungan maka.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the Parliamentary Bill number 128 to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management.
There is a motion to refer Parliamentary Bill number 128 to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management. There being no objection, it is duly seconded. The same is hereby approved.
Motion to suspend, Mr. Speaker.
There is a move to suspend the session until further notice. Until further notice, it is duly seconded. The same is approved.
I think there's a plan to hold a committee on finance.